Well, this week has been filled with major headlines in the U.S. and around the world. Here's more in our Week in Review.
The week begins at the White House with the president touting nationwide deportations.
People come into our country illegally, and they go out legally. Every person taken out had papers, and we had court orders.
Also on Monday,
singer R. Kelly is ordered to be held without bond as he awaits trial. The judge issued that ruling today after Kelly pleaded not guilty to a number of sex crime charges.
Tuesday, Planned Parenthood ousts its president. A federal judge signs an order permanently banning the Trump administration from adding a citizenship question to the census. And former Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens dies at 99 years old. Meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, hundreds of Puerto Ricans take to the streets of San Juan to demand the resignation of their governor over threats to his political opponents. Midweek.
Thank you to Greenville, North Carolina. I want to thank you.
President Trump takes the stage for the latest stop in his 2020 re-election campaign in North Carolina, where a controversial chant makes headlines. This as Vice President Mike Pence speaks to troops at Fort Bragg, plus life behind bars.
Drug kingpin Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo, was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years by a federal judge in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday morning.
Back on Capitol Hill,
Senator Rand Paul blocks the extension of the 9/11 First Responders Fund, citing the nation's growing debt.
Also on Wednesday, the brother of the suicide bomber responsible for the 2017 Manchester attack is arrested in London. Thursday, the Senate Armed Services Committee approves President Trump's pick for Mark Esper as defense secretary, setting up a full Senate vote. And in Japan, more than 30 people are killed after a suspected arsonist sets an anime studio on fire. Plus, bail denied.
We are following this breaking news right now where the judge overseeing Jeffrey Epstein's case denies his bail request.
Meanwhile, a New York federal court releases just under 1,000 unsealed search warrants detailing Michael Cohen's campaign finance violations. Plus, the fight for 15.
And the House passes a bill to raise the minimum wage. For the first time in a decade, the House voted today 231 to 199 to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025.
And in the Oval Office, President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence accept jerseys from America's Special Olympics team. President Trump announces the eldest son of late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia is his pick for the next labor secretary, and the lineup for the second Democrat debates is announced. Plus, the U.S. confirms the downing of an Iranian drone after it ignored calls to stand down in the Strait of Hormuz.
The drone was immediately destroyed.
Finally, on Friday, Iran confirms it seized a British oil tanker for the second time this week. Meanwhile, in Greece, a 5.3 magnitude earthquake strikes near Athens, and Benjamin Netanyahu makes history by becoming Israel's longest-serving prime minister. Back in the U.S., the 200th New York firefighter dies from a 9/11-related illness. And a popular app prompts major privacy concerns.
Controversy continues to swirl over the photo editing app known as Face App.
And finally on Friday, hundreds of millions of Americans brace for a weekend heat wave, while the White House celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 landing, welcoming astronauts Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins and the family of late space hero Neil Armstrong to meet with President Trump. Rachel Acenas, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.